Welcome back, YouTube. It is Saiko, and today we are here back with another video in our 30 teams in 30 days series. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Denver Nuggets. During this offseason, the only losses that the Nuggets had was losing Paul Millsap to the Nets and JaVale McGee to the Suns. They were able to sign Jeff Green and also re-sign JaMychal Green, Austin Rivers, and Will Barton. Extensions to Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon were also given out, basically kind of solidifying that the Nuggets are trying to keep this core together. And in the draft, the only guy that the Nuggets actually got this year was this guy named Bones Highland, and this dude looks like a legitimate steal. As for the starting lineup for this team, I'm going to take into account that Jamal Murray actually isn't going to be playing for a majority of the season. So I think that for the starters, it's going to be something around the lines of Monte Morris at the 1, Will Barton at the 2, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3, Aaron Gordon at the 4, and Nikola Jokic at the 5. Off the bench, I see guys like Bones Highland, Austin Rivers, Jeff Green, JaMychal Green, and Bol Bol as the guys getting a majority of the backup minutes. Campazzo and PJ Dozier are also big candidates to fill those roles, especially for Bol Bol, just because I don't really know if he's going to play. Monte Morris for the majority of last year, and I mean, I guess ever since he got into the NBA, has kind of been a backup guard, and he got thrust into that starting role because of Jamal Murray's ACL injury. And honestly, when he took that starting spot, he looked really solid. He could shoot, he can also play defense. He's just a really nice guy to have on the team. I think after this year, he's definitely a starting guard caliber player who's going to be coming off the bench once Jamal comes back. I think that if he does come off the bench when Jamal comes back, that he's going to be a killer, though. That's for sure. Will Barton is a solid starting 3-and-D type player in this league. I know that he was actually the starting small forward because they had Gary Harris, but with Gary Harris out the door, he's obviously moved over to the 2 now. He's also the guy that kind of looks to be the primary ball handler for the second unit as well. I don't feel like he's going to score a lot just because of the fact that MPJ and Nikola Jokic are probably going to be taking a majority of the shots on this team. But I mean, when he does get an opportunity to score, I'm pretty sure that he'll just be able to do like he always does and create his own shot. Michael Porter Jr. is a legitimate bucket who just signed a max contract, and I definitely think he's going to be worth it. At 6'10", the dude is just a legitimate 3-level scorer. I mean, he's a Kevin Durant type player, but like obviously he'll never be KD. I'm expecting him to average about 20 to 22 this season just because of the fact that Jamal Murray is not going to be there to take shots away from him. I think my only problem with him is the fact that he can't really play defense. I mean, like, the guy doesn't believe in COVID, yet he got it twice, and then he also leaked Adam Silver's phone number. I know that he's done like a few other things, but it's just like, those are just personal things. But like, as a player, I really like the guy besides his defense. And like I said earlier, he's literally that Kevin Durant type beat player. Aaron Gordon was another player who signed an extension this offseason, and I guess for what he does for the Nuggets, I guess it's going to be worth it for them. I think with him on the team, he could kind of be like a great value Draymond Green. He looked horrific in the postseason. I mean, he was even the guy that said like he didn't perform well at all. But I'm pretty sure that him having a full season with Jokic is actually going to like, you know, help him improve his game. And maybe he might turn into like, maybe not a Draymond Green, but a Blake Griffin. Either way, I think that Jokic will help him succeed in whatever role they try to give him. Nikola Jokic was the MVP last year, and I honestly feel like it wasn't talked about enough. He's like the first big man to win the MVP award since like what, Tim Duncan, if you count him as a big, which I mean, I think we all do. Or maybe it was Shaq. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe editing me will correct myself. I don't really know. He's literally a magician when it comes to passing the ball. It's just looking at his highlights of when he passes the ball, I have no words for it, dude. Last year, he really elevated his game in terms of scoring, and the dude literally almost averaged a triple-double on like 26 points. But obviously, I think the most important thing about this team is that he's pretty much the engine that runs it. And honestly, I think that's what actually makes them a scary team. Not having Jamal there, but having Jokic there, because he just sets people up so well, and he really just, you know, he just helps his teammates perform really good. By the way, if you guys are actually enjoying the content that you're seeing so far, please hit the like button and also hit subscribe because I would really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to hit the bell so that way you get notifications on when I post, so that way you guys don't miss an upload. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and I mean, I'm already at like 80, so I mean, hitting the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that a lot. And I'm sure that Jokic would too. Sorry that I put this randomly in the middle of the video. Some hater was apparently commenting on one of my videos about me being entitled or some shit. I don't know. Should I leave it here? Should I put it in the beginning? I don't really know. Maybe I'll just leave it for the end. Who knows? I don't know. Bones Highland is the Nuggets rookie this year, and honestly, from the preseason, he just looks like an absolute bucket. Aaron Gordon even called him fearless, and honestly, from the way that he dribbles the ball, the dude literally looks like a young Jamal Crawford. I can see him as the leading scorer off the bench, but at the same time, he did have like 6 turnovers in one game, so I mean, That's not good, especially if you're a dude who's coming off the bench. But I also feel like that's a problem that any rookie can really have. Austin Rivers has bounced around the league the last couple of years, but honestly, wherever he goes, I know that he always puts in his maximum effort. He's still got a solid handle, still has a solid jump shot, and plays pretty solid defense. And that's pretty much what I'm expecting from him to do this year as well. Just come in and do all of those things. Jeff Green, kind of like Austin Rivers, has kind of bounced around the league everywhere. He's pretty much been a journeyman, but like everywhere he goes, he's just a solid fucking player. I feel like if you watch the Cavs, the Jazz, or the Nets the last few years, you understand what I mean. Uncle Jeff Green is just gonna do Uncle Jeff Green things, and honestly, now that I think about it, he might actually move over to back up 4 minutes and have PJ Dozier be at the 3. And I only say that just because he's a little bit older, and plus I think that PJ Dozier is a lot faster, or he's gonna get a nice solid amount of minutes at backup 3. Jamichael Green, who isn't related to Jeff Green, by the way, it pretty much was their 3-and-D replacement for Jeremy Grant the last 2 years, or like last year. And while he's not Jeremy Grant, he's still a pretty solid 3-and-D type player. Yeah, he doesn't have like the playmaking ability that Grant developed in Denver, but I mean, he's still a solid option. And plus, I can also actually see him playing backup 5 minutes instead of playing backup 4 minutes, just because, you know, they might want PJ Dozier, like I said earlier. Bol Bol will hopefully have a role on this team. From what I've read, the reason why he doesn't get constant starting minutes is just because he doesn't have the best attitude, like the best locker room attitude about like how he plays or just like playing in general. If he can stay locked in, then I definitely see him getting a lot of minutes at center. And plus, like, when he does play, he's just an absolute monster. Oh, and I also expect Campazzo to get backup minutes just because, you know, he's Campazzo, and apparently, like, I don't know, he was just great last year, or at least like I wouldn't say great, but like he looked good last year for the Nuggets. So I mean, I think he's a solid guy that the Nuggets would want to play a few minutes of at least. As for this team's record, I feel like even though Jamal Murray is going to be sitting out a majority of the year, if not the entire year, I still see them as the 4th seed. Jokic is still the main conductor on this team, and MPJ just is going to get so many more shots now that Jamal Murray is out for at least like a good portion of the season. So I think with those two pretty much being the main engine that's going to run this team, I definitely see them still staying competitive, and they're definitely going to be a league pass team for me to watch this year as well, just because I'm really interested to see how MPJ performs without Jamal Murray taking a lot of shots. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are the Nuggets still going to stay competitive, or are they going to drop a little bit? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more content. My name is Saiko, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for my 30 teams in 30 days on the controversial, well, I guess controversial, I don't really know, Brooklyn Nets. Bye, guys.